Hello and welcome to Dynamic GT League's Race 2 of the SFR Championship from Circuit de Saint Croix. Quick look at the Drivers' Championship standings. Demon R leading away on 20 points, SGP in second on 17, Jason in third on 15 points, Steve F1 close behind on 13, Bunsel on 11, Twilight on 10, and then Dave's Harm 9, Rich Blues 8 and Hulkenberg on 7 points. But we do have a few new drivers in today's race, which could make things a little bit interesting, that's for sure. Okay, quick look at the qualifying order. 15 cars on the grid. Rodders on his debut taking pole position from second place, Iceman, Dave the Harp in third, Demon R in fourth, SGP in fifth and Steve F1 in sixth. So new boys doing well in qualifying, but as I said, 15 cars on the grid. It's going to make this race a very, very interesting one. Let's get over to the action. Here we go then. Rodders on pole position. So quick in qualifying, his livery came off. And we get ready for the start. And away they go, but it's a poor start from Rodders. Dave the Harp, though, he's got an absolute flyer of a getaway, as is Demon R and SGP. They're fighting for third place.
Yeah, it's looking quite entertaining down towards turn one. Rodders under pressure in turn one, and oh, he's back up the inside though. Dave the Harp is run a bit wide through turn one there, Dave.
He has now 3 wide. Demon R boxed in behind Rodders between SGP and Dave the Harp. Who's going to get that second place? Here's Demon R into turn 3. SGP taking the wider line, so he's now fighting with Dave the Harp in a beautifully liveried car. But I am curious who may have won the Snickers war and who's got the Snickers sponsorship for this race, as SGP's going up the inside of Dave the Harp.
Yeah, SGP going for a very, very I think his livery looks to have slightly changed. I don't know if it has or not. Maybe a different colour, but I might be completely wrong.
I think you're just a bit dizzy from too much Italian food.
Yeah, definitely. But
Hulkenberg
is side by side with Iceman. Iceman looks to be trying to make a move here, I think.
Yeah, I think Hulkenberg's got a message for him though, which is get your ass to Mars as SRI. Oh, the girders, he's into the girders.
Oh, Steve F1 now side by side with Iceman, and Hulkenberg's getting in there as well. So he's getting quite. I'm thinking about me Italian. No, I'm going to say tasty.
Well, Twilight's all over the back of Hulkenberg now. Let's see, is that Steve F1? He's not in a Snickers car by the looks of it. I'll have to have a closer look at that when I can. Jason, though, he's closing that gap, and we've got a very full grid today, so it's going to be absolutely frantic all the way through this 18-lap race. Yeah,
so Rodders recovered well. Still in the lead of the race, and Demon R's in P2. They're trying to pull away from the pack, but it looks like Steve F1 is side by side with somebody. I'm not too sure. Oh, it's Iceman.
Oh, Jason's going off though. Jason into the gravel, into the barrier. I'm not sure if he got nudged on that one, but Dave the Harp is now attacking SGP for third place. I'm wondering if SGP has done anything different on strategy on this occasion. He does like to do things differently, does SGP, but side by side he and Dave the Harp go down in towards turn 1.
Yeah, so Dave the Harp there in a Braun GP liveried car, which looks very very nice indeed, if I must say so.
SGP going late on the brakes, so sideways round the corner. Can he hold it? Can he hold it? No, he can't. He's onto the grass. That's going to give Dave the Harp every opportunity to retake that position as they swing round the fast kink of turn 2 into the tight left of turn 3. You don't want to brake late here, because if you do, you run wide, just like Dave the Harp has there. That's going to give SGP every opportunity to retake that place, but here comes Iceman now on a charge.
Yeah, Iceman, I don't think he'll be taking any prisoners. Oh, he's going up the inside 3 wide. This is a very tight corner indeed.
It is. It's really fast corner. SGP's actually goes all over the curb. He's going wide again. Iceman takes both positions to the yes. What's SGP going to do? Oh, he's going to give Dave the Harp a bit of a nudge, and here comes Steve F1.
Yeah, Steve F1 looks to be making a move. Oh, James Hulkenberg's got a lot of speed here on the hill. We're not on a hill, we're on a bridge. But yeah, here we go. 3 wide.
Yeah, I'm interested to know how you saw a hill there, but there we go. Hulkenberg eats Italians. SRI, I've got to say, I love SRI's livery, you know. He's had it made for him, a bit of Tenant Super in there. but he's getting a little bit feisty behind him. Twilight, Jason and Bunsel. Bunsel's in a blue car, not his usual yellow M&M car.
Yeah, it's just must have given up on their M&Ms, or the M&Ms sponsorships run out, and yeah, now he's going for an Oasis delivery this week.
He is, yeah. Don't look back in anger, just look back in your mirror instead.
Oh yeah, he's going. I think Formula Gary almost had a run there, but he's getting too close.
It is. Steve F1, Jason and Hulkenberg were 3 wide heading into this left-hander. Hulkenberg's backed out of it a little bit though. Can he hold on to it? Oh, it's going sideways, but he is gaining on SGP rapidly. What a move from Hulkenberg there. I don't think he even knew how he did that one.
I think he just... yeah, I think SGP's tyres are absolutely shot.
I do think he must have gone for a different type of strategy. Yes, he has. Off he goes into the pit lane, and yeah, it was super soft tyres, and the super softs do not last very long around here. The soft tyres will last around about 5 laps if you're lucky. The mediums and hards are not great though, but the super soft, great for 1 lap, terrible for many more.
Yeah, so James Hulkenberg now on the back of Dave Viart for 4th place.
Oh, here we go.
Rodders there, he's gone for the very basic livery this week. As you said, I think his sponsors might have fallen off, but I think they're regretting it right now. Every man and dog wants their sponsor on that kind P1.
Oh, I don't know, Demon R, I might have something to say about that. I mean, it's interesting, Rodders on his debut in the DGT League, taking the fight to Demon R, although I have heard that Demon R has come into this race with a bad back and can't break. Bunsel and Twilight come together. Oh, that's a massive crash for Twilight. Bunsel's just about got away with it to a degree. He's still facing the right direction anyway, but yeah, that was a big spin around for Twilight.
Yeah, I think he felt a bit like Kylie Minogue there, and SGP is come out of the pits and he needs to get past these guys. He's on brand new tyres.
Yeah,
and
having a look at the inside of Drew, Formula Gary thinks better of it. Drew giving the space, and there is SGP's mention. I think SRI has just hit the barrier once again in that particular corner. But yeah, I was mentioning a moment ago that Demon R comes into this race with a bad back, can barely breathe, and done very limited practice. So is it Rodders taking the fight to Demon R, or is Demon R just pacing himself to see what Rodders has got?
I'm sure we will find out, but SGP still fighting, door banging with Bunsel. That's 3 wide.
Yeah, I'm not surprised Bunsel was giving him a bit of a nudge there. He did have Rich Blues on the left of him as well, and when you're in the middle of a sandwich, it's very easy to get a little bit messy. As Steve F1 and Dave, oh, Jason's into the gravel, SGP is into the gravel as well, and then Jason parks it for the fans for a moment to take a quick snapshot, and SGP going very, very slowly. I'm wondering if SGP, I think SGP may have wiped Jason out, you know, yeah, and he's waited for him, so nice bit of respect there, and that's what the DGT League admins want drivers to do. If you do take somebody out, wait for them, saves any aftermath after the race.
Yeah, and that's what we like to see, but there is Rodders running through turn 1, and yeah, even though Demon R's got a bad back, he's clearly not taking any time away.
Oh, Hulkenberg up the inside of Steve F1, so here we are, the Snickers war then, but it's not Snickers on Steve's car, it's Skittles. Taste that rainbow, Hulkenberg.
Yeah, so it looks like Hulkenberg's gone for a Mars bar livery on the rear wing, but here comes Dave the Arp up the inside.
Can he get it slowed down in time? Steve F1 gives him the room, and it's a lovely move by Dave the Harp.
Yeah, lovely move indeed, side by side. Oh no, Steve's lost out on the traction there. Dave the Arp is in front and heading into the squiggly bit before the bridge, not the hill.
Yeah. The hill's in the distance, look.
But yeah, no, I've got to say...
Oh, Hulkenberg's gone off, Hulkenberg's off, he's into the barrier. Oh, he's going to lose it over the hill.
No, he did well not to completely wipe himself out, as that is an awful barrier, but it's straight back onto the attack as he's behind Steve F1.
Yeah, I mean, the approach to the bridge, though, it's an interesting one. It's a very fast right-hander, a slightly slower left-hander, and a surprisingly, a bit of sparks off the barrier there as Drew running a little bit wide. Oh, head first into the barrier.
Oh, if he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, it'd be next counter.
Oh, it'd be next hill.
SGP. Well, they're going up a slight hill now, and then they're going to go down the hill slightly. Here we go. Whoa, look at that hill.
Hey, they're headed towards the Damon.
Oh, Here we go, side by side. I think SGP is going to do it under the braking.
Yeah, late on the brakes for SGP, then Twilight and SRI going side by side just ahead. Oh, Bunsel's been off though, and that's going to allow Drew and SGP to gain a position. Rodders still leading the race though as they come around the final corner. We are kind of getting close to the pit stop window, and Demon R's taking the opportunity now, jumping into the pits. He was on the soft compound tyre. I think he's pitted early to go for an undercut, so Rodders may get to see firsthand the power of the undercut here. Steve F1 shows early he's going to the pits. What tyres was he on? Super soft tyres for Steve F1, so he's done well to make them last as long as he has. Hulkenberg though all over the back of Dave Harper's Formula Gary, and Bunsell heading to the pits, and that looked like a smiley starfish on his bonnet.
Yeah, I don't have a clue what that was, but here we go. SGP down at turn 1, and Twilight is hanging on by his coattails, and Jason's turned up as well.
Yeah, Jason's done well to recover after that crash with SGP, as Drew is trying to make some kind of move on SGP. He's having a look up the inside but can't quite get it done, and he's lost the position now to Jason as well. Twilight a little bit out of shape as they head down towards the interesting, it is a brilliant set of corners, Steve, but very easy to get it wrong.
Oh yeah, so you got to make sure your gears are right for this, because if you get them wrong, you can understeer wide, and then you're completely out of shape for all of them.
Yeah, and if you're out of shape over the bridge, you hit the barrier just there, as Hulkenberg did a few laps ago.
He just missed it. He just missed it before the hill. I mean the bridge.
Okay. So SGP's up the inside of Twilight. He's boxed Jason in. Oh, Jason's scraping the barrier, I think. As Twilight going a bit wide, close, but Jason clips the barrier again. He's up.
Yeah,
he's turned into a good move though.
Yeah, he's sparking up the field, it looks like.
These puns are getting worse. So now they head up the Damon.
Yeah, and Drew, I've got to say...
You still haven't twigged to that, have you?
What do you mean the Damon? Damon Hill?
Damon Hill?
The Damon and Graham. The Damon and Graham. Here we go.
Or as Alonso would call it, the Graham.
Or the Chicane. The Chicane before the hill, I mean the bridge.
Yeah.
But yeah, SRI is lost out to SGP, so SGP now up to 7th place.
You know what, I think Rodders may be heading into the pit lane. Yes, he is. Rodders into the pits then. He was also on the soft compound tyre.
Oh, there's been a bit of crash bang wallop in the background, and there is SRI.
Yeah, spinning around massively. Lucky he was a ghost there, because otherwise he'd have been wiped out even more. He did used to hunt ghosts, but now he is one. And
SGP into the pit lane.
Yeah,
SGP in the pit.
He was running another set of super soft tyre. Now, interestingly, Rodders, having made his pit stop, has seen what effect the undercut can have in the Dynamic GT League, as Demon R has now taken the lead by about 3 or 4 seconds, but he has got 1 lap older tyres. Iceman all over the back of Dave the Harp. Dave the Harp goes defensive. Can he hold him off, James?
Ooh, I'm not too sure. Iceman there, the traction were brilliant. Absolutely fantastic out that corner. So it took such a tight line. That were lovely.
It was like you're Italian. Bloody lovely.
Bloody lovely. And yeah, here comes Dave the Art's best friend, Steve F1.
Yeah. Although I'm looking at SGP. SGP's gone wide into the corners. We said if you get it wrong, it goes horribly wrong, and that has done for SGP. It's the second time I've seen him into the barrier there. Now, I know that Demon R had a back bad coming into this race. SGP hadn't slept for 2 days coming into this race, and to be honest, this is a race that could have a massive effect on the championship standings, or the championship fighters. Drew into the barrier again.
Oh yeah, we're taking liberties there, but Steve F1, here we go. He's up the inside of Dave the Art. We're going to go side by side as they head over the Damon.
Yeah, he's kind of done lovely. So yeah, Steve the Harp, oh my god.
He's been destroying me all race, but I got my own back and I didn't have to do it. But here comes Steve. Is he going to do it under braking? Oh, this is a tight corner. It looks wide open.
He's gone deep. He's gone deep. Is he doing gravel?
Yeah, it's one of them where you really don't want to defend. It's such a fast but tight corner.
Oh, bit of door banging with Rich Blues, SRI and Bunsell. That's going to allow SGP to sneak between the middle of the two of them. But yeah, I mean, that hairpin you're on about, James, it's an interesting one, because if you defend the corner, you end up offline, and braking for it is very difficult as SRI's all over the back of Hulkenberg. And SGP jumps in on the inside.
A bit shot here.
This is looking like it's getting a little bit frantic.
Yeah, I think Hulkenberg's tyres are absolutely cooked now.
Yeah, I think Formula Gary's just battered the wall, as well as Rich Blues heads into the pit lane for a change of tyres and probably a spliff, seeing as he's Jamaican.
Jamaica. Mind you, he's as much Jamaican as I am Italian. Yeah. But here we go. We've got Twilight door banging with Steve F1. Steve F1 must have pitted recently.
Yeah, I think you're right there, James. He must have done, because he was fighting with David Hart, wasn't he? Twilight struggling a little bit around turn 1 there, but it's no surprise. I mean, these cars, they're brilliant little cars to drive, but as you were sort of mentioning about that hairpin, if you're off the racing line when you're braking these cars, you've got to kind of brake early. You can't late brake in these cars. They don't like it.
Yeah, see, you've got to make your mind up well in advance what you're going to do. You can't just do a spare at the moment, Dan Dare on the brakes, because it ain't going to happen. But there is Davey Harp in 4th place, got Jason hunting him down now. SGP
somehow manages to get into 6th place, and look at that gaggle of cars behind us. Hulkenberg, Formula Gary, Bunsell, who else is there? I can't tell the names because they're all
the rest of the field.
Yeah, everybody else. Steve the Harp's in there as well as SR Twilight.
Yeah, and it looks like Hulkenberg's pretty much holding the pack up here on all tyres.
Twilight! I think Twilight may have got a little nudge from the back as he made contact with the car ahead. A little bit of a concertina effect, but that's devastating for Twilight. I think his tyres are pretty much shot anyway. Looking back at the lead though, Demon R, he is leading, but Rodders is closing that gap. Now the interesting thing here is, with Demon R having pitted probably a lap earlier than he would have wanted to, he's now got a choice to make. Does he stretch this stint a little longer, or does he just make sure that Rodders doesn't get an undercut?
Yeah, it's a tough one, but I would also always say it's always better to go for the undercut, even if that allows Rodders to see your strategy. Yeah, you're always best to have track position.
I mean, that's the thing. If Rodders pits before Demon R, Rodders will take the lead. If Demon R pits before Rodders, Rodders has to pit with him.
Yeah. If he stays out, he's only going to lose time.
Exactly.
So, Demon Art through turn 1 quite nicely there, just touching the green paint on the inside. But Rodders, as you say, is just ever so slowly closing in, 10th by 10th.
That he is. It's an interesting race between these two. I know they have competed against each other before, as Demon R runs a little bit wide, but Rich Blues and SRI side by side. We've got a non-Jamaican and a Scotsman. The evil Scotsman, where's Rich Blues going? Flashes his lights to say, yeah, I just scared for a moment then.
I think SRI is quite glad that he's managed to get in front, but there is James Hulkenberg. I'm not too sure whether he's pitted recently. I don't think he has.
Steve,
but here comes Steve. That was quite brave, I would say.
It was, but I mean, Rich Blues is a friend of his, so he probably was shouting at him, sort of, move, itch, get out the way.
Get out the way, itch, get out the way.
Oh God. Yeah, just say nothing. Yeah. Steve F1 on SRI then over the Damon Bridge.
We'll call this the Graham Bridge, and the next hill the Damon.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think Steve F1, he was battling with Davey Harp, as James Hulkenberg loves to scrape his door all the way on them barriers, and here comes Steve F1. He's going to have a run now.
I mean, this corner they're going round as well, it's a beautifully cambered corner, but it's one of those where if you're offline you'll lose a lot of time, and if you're on the inside you'll lose even more time because you have to slow down so much. But Jason running in 4th place, he had a brilliant debut last time out, actually getting on the podium I believe, so he's doing well sitting in 4th, with SGP in 5th and Dave the Harp in 6th. A bit of a gap then between Dave the Harp and Steve F1, who were fighting for position early.
Yeah, so it just shows you though how much an undercut can change things, how drastic it can change the scape of the race. But here comes Rodders, he's on the tail now of Demon R, probably less than a car's width between them.
Is he going to have a look up the inside into turn 1? No, thinks better of it. I won't be surprised if Demonar does a little bit of tactical driving here, go a little bit slower on apex of corners to put the other guy off. There's plenty of tactics a driver can use.
Yeah, but he's got a bad back, so he's going to have to think twice as hard. And here comes Iceman. He's pretty much in no man's land. Iceman he's quicker than the rest of the pack behind Jason, but he just doesn't seem to have the pace of the front runners. That's
true. Dave the Arper's recently pitted, and I just saw as well, he was on the hard compound of tyre. So where will he come out? He's come out behind Steve F1. So in that fight between Steve and Dave, Steve is ahead at the moment, but I think may have to do additional pit stops compared to Dave the Harp. Now, as you mentioned, James, the two leaders have pulled away a gap from Iceman, and there is quite a big gap between Iceman and 4th place, but then it is ever so compact.
Yeah, and Bunsell is taking a very tight line. I don't know what he's doing there, 'cause it's really compromising him down the hill into this little tight, twisty chicken. As you can see, Dave the Arp manipulating the back of the car, just getting it in the right position. I think Bunsell's a bit out of shape here.
He was. I think he wasn't as quick through that corner as Dave was hoping, and Dave may attack the back of him as well, so he's lost a position now to Drew and to Rich Blues.
Yeah, so that's not worked out there for Dave the Arp. That's something he could have really not done with, but here comes Formula Gary. What's he doing?
He's like a steam train. Oh, and into the barrier he goes. Is he going to take Dave? No, the bit of contact, and Drew's into that barrier again. Drew loves that barrier there, you know, at the end of the Graham Bridge.
Yeah, so Dave the Arp lost out there, but really Formula Gary just helped him out again.
Now up at the front, we're not seeing him for a while, but that's because Demonar and Rodders are still holding position. There's nothing happening between those two. I think they're both just pacing themselves at the moment. SRI just behind Formula Gary, and Formula Gary definitely came in a little bit hot over the bridge there. Drew finding, I mean, one thing that's interesting to try and find out, I mean, what do you think it would be like, James, for these guys in the pack? We'll just have a look at Demonar in the lead, going for the pits, and Rodders does follow him in. That's wise from Rodders.
Yeah, you didn't want to stay out. If you stayed out, you're basically giving up about 5-6 seconds. So there's no point.
Definitely.
So yeah, in the pack, it's just a bit of a nightmare, really. You want to have the pace to pull away. As you can see here with James Hulkenberg, he's got Dave the Arp just overtook him there. Dave the Arp's been fantastic on this lap. To get past Steve, I think James Hulkenberg's going for the pit. I think with them tyres basically just screamed, "I've had enough."
Yeah. Either that or his eyes were still closed when he opened them. He was heading into the pit lane.
Yeah, so back in
Gary! Gary!
Oh, Gary, that is crap.
That was a little bit way too late on the brakes, unfortunately. Looking back at the leaders, so Demonar has managed to come out ahead of Rodders, as we'd expect. I think Rodders may have come out side by side with Iceman, so the two leaders are able to pit and get out ahead of Iceman, and Iceman will probably make another pit stop soon. SGP up to 4th place now. He's had an up and down race, that's for sure, and that's nothing to do with the elevation of the track. It's just he's been in pretty much every position except for 2nd and 1st. Jason, though, he's having a strong race, closing in on SGP. Is he going to be on for another podium? He's going to have to work hard to try and catch Iceman to do it, though.
Yeah, but he's very, very persistent, is Jason. He doesn't make many mistakes, but yeah, SGP's going to have his work cut out, I think. But as we said earlier, it is quite difficult, I bet, for the drivers in the middle of the pack, because you kind of feel like you want to pull away, and then if you get caught behind the pack, then you ruin your tyres. And like we say, you're always best just to pound straight away, but you've got to do it in a way where you're not late braking so much as like
SRI.
we saw earlier on.
SRI's just found himself boxed in. I mean, a little bit of contact between Drew and SRI, and SRI is off into the barrier. There's not a lot of paint left on that car.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what I was going to say as well is, I mean, when you're in that pack as well, if you're trying to attack someone, you've got to be so conscious of somebody trying to attack you as well. SGP has lost the position to Jason. I didn't see that. Where has SGP gone? He's disappeared, actually. He's still on track, but yeah. He's lost places.
Yeah, he's down in 6th at the moment. Oh, Rodders having a little cheeky look up into a gap that wasn't really there. I don't know what he was intending to do other than try and make the cars mate, but Demonar, I don't think he's going to be intimidated by late braking like that.
Nah, not at all. I don't think he will be. I mean, it'd be interesting for De Minaur to find out if Rodders is going to be a race-winning rival for the remainder of the championship. He's got to find out what he's got, hasn't he? Two slightly different lines down the hill, and I wouldn't be surprised to see completely different lines in this situation, with slight defending or positioning to attack and things like that. But De Minaur just ran a little bit wide there, but he's opened up a little bit of a gap now over the bridge. Iceman sitting in third place though.
Yeah, we've not pitted since Rodders and De Minaur came out in the pit in front of him, so I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, and there is SGP down in 8th place, so he must have had a big off, because he's now behind SRI, who we saw had a massive off, unless SGP had pitted.
Yeah, SGP was in 6th and he's pitted and he's come out in P8, so now he's on the move past SRI.
And in the background.
Yeah. It's and in the distance there you can see the next rival up the road for SGP will be James Hulkenberg.
Yeah, that it will, but he's still fighting with SRI. SRI's got a brilliant run on him. Oh, SRI's trying to squeeze him though, trying to make him take the title line. These two are meant to be friends.
Yeah, I think that was a bit. I'd probably say if you thought we were friends, think again. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
and
Steve
here
F1's got a
comes
good
Steve.
run on Twilight and SGP.
Yeah, indeed. So, Twilight. The track's a bit more to the right, mate.
Oh, battle for the lead is on again. Rodders all over the back of De Minaur as they head through the final corner. De Minaur's into the barriers. That's going to compromise him. I'd be surprised if he keeps hold of first position after giving the barrier a clip in like that.
Is De Minaur going to squeeze him though? No, he just stays on the racing line. I think Rodders has worked out it's not worth going off the racing line, and De Minaur knows.
Steve F1, holy cow!
Yeah, that were a nice move there. He just waited, and SRI made the mistake. Straight through he went.
Oh, big crash! SGP, SRI, and someone else was collected in that as well. I think it may have been Drew. Yes, it was. And an SRI recovers slowly. That was a massive crash. I think SGP and SRI both got into the wall there, and it just turned into an absolute disaster, unfortunately. But I think you're right, James. Rodders may have worked out that going off the racing line is not gonna help really in going for any kind of an overtake.
Yeah, might as well just wait and hope that De Minaur makes a mistake. I think that's his strategy rather than going for a cheeky move off the racing line.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, okay, we haven't been watching these two a lot, but I mean, looking at De Minaur clips the barrier again. Looking at it, it doesn't look like De Minaur is going defensive. Which, if you're following someone and they're not going defensive at all, there's a couple of ways you can look at it. You can look at it and think they're leaving the door wide open all of the time, or you can think, why are they not defending? And if it's because being on the racing line is quicker, you have to think about that.
Yeah, indeed. We're getting a bit of an odd camera angle here.
Rodders having a look up the inside, but again, De Minaur doesn't defend it, but he sort of says, okay, I'll give you a bit of space, you can try it there if you want. It's interesting this, because it's kind of like Rodders having a look to see if he could make it, and De Minaur having a look to see what happens if he does try it.
Yeah, and this next left-hander is crucial. Is a place where a lot of overtakes can be done, as we saw Steve F1 on the previous lap, but here comes Bunsell on Rich Blues.
Or is it Rich Blues on Bunsell? Bunsell's got the inside line, it's very tight there, he's going to have to slow down a lot. He's done well actually. I mean, Bunsell's driving has improved dramatically. His awareness has improved a lot. I mean, I do know that the DGT League admins mentioned about drivers using the radar in the race, and it is a brilliant tool to use, and I think you can definitely tell when people are using it.
Yeah, it is crucial. If you're not one for looking in your mirrors.
I've just praised him. What's he going to do? Oh, Gary,
I don't know, but Formula Gary needs a slap on wrists here. I think he's so many times just not even using the brakes, using other cars as brakes. This is ridiculous from Gary.
It is a little bit too aggressive. I mean, I mentioned earlier on that, as Dave Harms pitted, I mentioned earlier on, you can't late brake in these cars. You just can't do it. Well, you can, but you ain't going to go very quick. And if there's cars ahead of you, you're going to nail them. And when your tyres start wearing, you've got to brake that a little bit earlier as well.
So let's see how Dave the Art tackles this, because he's one for making sure that he gets past cleanly. He's already made his way past Formula Gary, who's run wide. His next target is Twilight down the hill on the inside. I'm sure if Twilight makes it hard for him, there will be a few choice words while he's having a cig.
There will be. I think Rich Blues has just clumped the barrier in the background as well. And just so to let everybody know, yes, I know that the leaders, Demon R and Rodders, are very close together, but nothing is happening there, guys. They're still just following each other, and there's plenty of action happening elsewhere on the grid. With 15 cars starting the race, unfortunately, Drew, the American Drew, whose name isn't Drew, it's Nick, actually disconnected early on in the race. Disappointing for him. So yeah, 14 cars battling it out, and the leading two pacing themselves. But look at the action we got here. Twilight attacking back on Dave the Harper, making the move stick.
Yeah.
What a move! But here comes Formula Gary.
Yeah, I think Dave the Art's taking it too lightly at the back, thinking he was going to get past them a bit too easy, and they're fighting back.
That they are. This is going to be an interesting braking zone now. The hairpin with so many cars approaching it, different lines being used. Can they all get through cleanly? You know what, they can. Gary, so in the background there, brake nice and early and made the corner. Yes, he may have got overtaken, but that's what happens when you're on the inside tighter line. But it's all part of race.
Yeah, so James Hulkenberg now on the inside. Round the outside.
Leaders have both pitted again. Demon R pitted and Rodders followed him in, so still no action there really, but they are pitting at the same time again.
Yeah, so side by side once again
with everybody.
Yeah, SGP just makes his way around the outside to James Hulkenberg, who I think just ran into the pit lane because he knew his tyres were dead.
Yeah, quite possibly. And Demon R and Rodders have come out ahead of Iceman again as Twilight's having a look up the inside of Jason into turn 1. SGP trying to have a look up the inside of Steve F1. Someone went wide in the background, but there's so many cars I couldn't tell who it was.
I think it was the last of the late breakers. But yeah, Steve F1 now is the man who is the cork in the bottle, as SGP and Davey Harper are probably trying to prise that cork off.
Yeah, I think Bunsel's just had a little trip over the grass as well. Twilight trying to make moves on Jason, I think it is. Yeah, he's having a look, but SGP's all over the back of Steve F1, but Jason having a look up the inside of Dave the Harper. It's a cheeky move. Dave just about sees him, but manages to hold on to the position, does he? Yes! But now he's boxed in, is Dave.
But that were a good bit of driving there. The awareness was absolutely brilliant. We saw Jason went for that little cheeky move and gave enough room, and here comes
4 wide,
here we go. I don't think this is going to work. Oh, SRI shoving James Hulkenberg.
It's a big crash
in the Twilight. Yeah, I don't think James Hulkenberg could do what about that, as SRI was shoving James Hulkenberg into Twilight, and here comes Formula Gary.
Yeah, I honestly thought for a moment then everyone was going to get through there beautifully, and unfortunately it didn't happen. Okay, so SGP still in the thick of things. Steve F.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, Steve's just gone defensive as he just tapped the wall early, so Dave the Harp, I think he's just going to manage to make the move, but he's going to be on the racing line. But yeah, Steve F1. Oh, is he going to run wide?
He is. Yeah. Dave the Ark got a little bit wiggly there as well. Jason now having a look up the inside of Steve F1 as Hulkenberg's clipped the gravel, I think. Very wide.
Yeah, I think he's just lost all in places, just made up. So that's put him pretty much back on the back of this pack, unfortunately for him.
Oh, I think he's sideways as well.
Yeah, but he's managed to keep it going in the right direction there. So yeah, I think unfortunately though, the tyres he's just put on brand new and now completely knackered.
SGP, Steve F1 and Formula Gary, I think it was, into the pits. So that's going to give Dave the Harp and Jason a little bit of a breather, but Hulkenberg is in a sandwich between Drew and Bunsel. Is he going to try and make it around the outside? It's not an easy one to do, but is he going to go for a switch back? No, he can't get it turned into committed contact.
He tried it, but I don't think Drew were going to be giving him that space there. But yeah, he just managed to control it. But look how much time he's lost. This pack have all pitted for fresh tyres, and yeah, his tyres are completely knacked, but they're only a lap and a bit old.
Yep. Oh dear, and so SGP and the others that pitted are all over the back of Twilight, Hulkenberg, and the leading cars of this pack. This is absolutely I mean, this is difficult to commentate on. I can only imagine what it was like for these guys to be in the fight, driving it. Oh, Hulkenberg!
Oh, he's hit the wall!
So is SGP. SGP clips the wall on the other side. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
It's gone from bad to worse for both SGP and James Hulkenberg. I'm sure they will be not impressed, but up at the front, this is absolutely on a knife edge now. Rodders, all the race is going for a move now. He's up the inside.
Side by side they go then, so Rodder's trying it again. Demonar gave him the room, but he's now got the inside line for the left-hander. Rodder's going to take a wider entry, trying to look for a bit of a switchback, but can't quite get it to work. So interesting, it's kind of like poking the bear here, as Rodder's now having a look at flashing up the inside.
Much tighter line now. He's on the racing line. It's forced Demonar to go defensive. He's off the racing line. Is this going to allow a run down the start-finish straight? I'm not too sure. I think Demonar just about carried enough speed.
Yeah, so, I mean, I was going to sort of say, this is kind of like been poking the bear. Rodder's having a look at where he thinks he might be able to have an attack. Oh, and he's having a look up the inside of turn 1, but Demonar is having absolutely none of it.
Yeah, I think most drivers there would have flinched, but Demonar was like, well, if you hit me, it's your fault.
Don't hit the paintwork, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, Demonar's ran a little bit wide though. Tricky off-camber left-hander. That's going to give Rodders a decent run heading down into the fast right-hander. I wouldn't suggest that this is a corner where you really want to try having a look at making the move, because the door's just going to get closed as you pinch the apex. But Demonar's ran wide all over the curve. That's going to put him massively out of shape.
Yeah, now Rodders really can keep this quite tight up against the apex. Can he have a run now over the Grey Mill Bridge?
He's trying. He's going to have to go round the outside. So Demonar sort of defending. Is he? Yeah.
Demonar, if he's late on the brakes just by a couple of metres. No, he's braked early. He's thinking that Rodders is going to outbrake himself, but Rodders just made it without touching the barrier.
Yeah, I think that's a sign of a driver realising being off the racing line and trying to brake late ain't going to work. Especially as we're into sort of the last 5 minutes of this race. These tyres have got to get to the end.
Yeah, indeed. But could it be possible though that Demonar just pits and gets a set of super softs, or you think it's not worth it?
He could. I mean, given the pit stops that Rodders and Demonar have done coming out ahead of Iceman each time, he probably could. The problem is with the super softs, they just don't last very long. I mean, they're only good for really one hot lap, and anything after that, you're risking losing time. Yeah.
So Demonar, he's going to have to. It's been clear throughout this race that Rodders has slightly been the quicker driver, just from the cheeky moves he's been playing here, there and everywhere, but now he's out in front. He doesn't have that reference point to follow. Are we going to see Rodders pull away, or is it going to be role reversal?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, it's Demonar sitting in second place now. He's going to be thinking, right, okay, are you going to be pulling away, or can I catch you back up? And it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because Rodders, having got into the lead, he's probably going to be thinking, right, time to pull away now. And if he can, brilliant. If he can't, then it's going to... Oh, come back! That was not great. Oh, dear. Oh, I think he needs a slap on the wrist.
I think he does. I don't know what's happened. I think he's just thrown his toys out at Pram. He's like Donald Trump.
Yeah. I want a wall.
Give me a wall. don't give me a wall. I'll shut the government down. Here comes Jason now on SRI. Side by side down towards turn 1. Jason's slightly more in front, but SRI, has he got better tyres? We're going to find out. He's going to go around the outside.
He's trying it. Just to let you know, we're on lap 17, so the next lap will be the last lap of the race.
Yeah, so this is pretty much Jason. He's been in the top between 5 and he's been around 5th, 6th place all the way through the race. I think Jason will be quite annoyed if he finishes in 7th.
That he will. That he will. I mean, after having a podium at the last race, he will have been hoping for another one here today. But we are now, what, a lap and a half from the end of the race. So if De Minaur is going to do anything to Rodders or on Rodders, either way I say that sounds wrong. It's got to be within the next lap and a half. Steve F1 still fighting David Hart, though. They're fighting for the 4th place now. And SGP is closing the gap in as well.
Yeah, Steve F1 and Dave, they have pretty much had exactly the same pace. It's just been strategy that's constantly meant that these two just keep turning up and coming together.
Yeah, all Steve F1's ran a little bit wide though, gives the barrier a little bit of a kiss. Dave the Harp's got the run on him.
Yeah, and that's just forced Steve F1 off the racing line. But Rodders, here we go, we're coming towards the final lap, and it looks like Rodders has not managed to pull too much of a gap away. He's about 4 car lengths.
He's wide, he's into the barrier, he's sideways.
This could be the lead going for Rodders. He's worked so hard. Oh yes, he's worked so hard all race to get the P1, and there we go. He's only took a few laps to make one mistake because he's not had that reference of De Minaur in front of him. But we've got one lap to go. Can Rodders manage to make a move?
Well, hopefully we'll keep the cameras on this for the final lap of the race. I don't know if we do or not, we'll find out. I mean, the interesting thing there was you were saying, James, that Rodders hadn't managed to pull away, so maybe he was trying to push that little bit harder to open the gap, but De Minaur ran wide again. Side by side they go, a little bit of contact, side by side down the hill. Rodders retakes the lead, does he? Just
about, and De Minaur is going to have to wait and fight another day, but this has forced Rodders tight into this corner. It's putting him out of shape.
Yeah, and I think De Minaur tagged the back of him there as well, so as we mentioned earlier on, tricky set of corners you don't want to be out offline for, but Rodders managing to survive for the moment. So close over the Graham Bridge. De Minaur doing a cheeky Mansell dummy.
Yeah, so Rodders off the racing line just by a car's width. De Minaur on the racing line, but a car's width behind, and that's just forced Rodders slightly tighter. And now can De Minaur go for a bit of a switchback?
Well, Rodders with that tighter line is going to compromise his speed on the exit of the corner, and yeah, De Minaur is catching up to the back of him straight away as there's a change of position between SGP and SRI. But I want to see oh no, it's a big crash again between SRI and SGP. They need a talking to, but from themselves. Oh yeah, and De Minaur has got the move done with the greatest straight line speed out to the exit of the corner. That's dropped Rodders down into 2nd place. There's only a few corners left to go, and Rodders going for it over the inside into the hairpin, but he's going deep and he's pushed De Minaur off the track.
Oh yeah, I've got to say, I personally thought that was fair, but you know, I like a bit of rubbing racing, but I've got to say, Rodders has backed out. He's felt. I think he's felt there that he pushed De Minaur off the track, but De Minaur's run a bit wide. Can Rodders do him in the final corner? I don't know.
Yeah, well, it is the last corner, and I'm going to get onto your comment just there, James. So in a moment we'll get onto that. So De Minaur is going to head towards the finish line in 1st place. Rodders right behind him in 2nd place, and it is 1st and 2nd for the two of them. Iceman, he's going to come across the line in 3rd. Steve F1, is he going to keep hold of 4th? It's ever so close between himself and Dave the Harp. Dave the Harp's got a brilliant tight line through the corner. He's gaining on him into the last turn.
Yeah, Dave the Harp won't do anything stupid though, even though it is the last lap, and he'll think he'd rather wait for Steve to make a mistake, but oh, he's run a bit wide himself.
Yeah, he won't do anything stupid, he'll just crash into the barrier. So it's 4th place for Steve F1, 5th for Dave the Harp, 6th for Jason. It's close again now with Formula Gary's going into the pits. It's the last lap of the race. Oh,
well done, lad.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Well done, lad. He's been braking late, and now pits on the last lap. It can't get any worse.
That is true. Yeah, quick chat then. That move on that last lap there. I mean, I've got to say, I mean, maybe I'm a bit of an old boy and a bit of a stickler. I mean, if you're going to go for a move, you've got to do it clean. And if you're understeering all the way to the edge of the track and pushing the other guy off the track to make your move, I don't know. I'd call that fair.
I don't know. I just think, last lap at race. I don't know. I personally, on last lap at race, I'm like, gloves off, let's go for it. I personally would have liked to have seen Rodders just kind of go, yeah, that's my move of the race. But you know, that's just me. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
It might not be.
It's not my opinion.
Yeah.
Move, bitch! Get out the way. That's what I said. I mean, what I will say is I do know that Demon R did sort of shout out massive respect to Rodders, because it would have been so easy for Rodders in that situation to just go and keep going all the way to the end. Rodders himself must have felt that it wasn't a clean move. So if that's what he felt, then he's done exactly the right thing. Would Demon R have been annoyed had Rodders kept going? I think he may have turned into a bit of Steve the Heart.
But yeah, no, I think especially there, well, what you just said, Rodders will come away with a lot of respect from a lot of drivers for stuff like that, because there's not many drivers, including myself, that I think would have backed out there.
I mean, what I will say as well, I mean, we saw a few snippets of Demon R and Rodders battling there. We saw Demon R not brake late because he knew he couldn't. If he did, he might end up in a crash. We saw Rodders have a look a few times, and unfortunately on the occasion he went for it, the tyres were knackered and it couldn't quite cope. And Rodders has shown to be a very good driver. So if you've got two of the fastest drivers out there not going for late braking, it kind of, I think it sends a signal to the others: don't do late braking, it's not faster in these cars.
Well, clearly, I mean, the gaps that the front runners of Demon R and Rodders, the gap that they'd pulled out of the rest of the field was absolutely remarkable. So yeah, I think certain drivers need to have a look at their braking points.
Yeah, that one with the Mars logo on it.
Yeah, Tony the Tiger needs a word, and also I think there were another grey one back there. I'm not too sure. I think it was the one that pitted on the last one.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So, final congratulations then to Demon R for taking the race win with an assist from Rodders. Let's take a look at the final race order. Demon R then taking his second victory in a row with Rodders in a very close second place. Iceman took third with Steve F1 in fourth, Dave the Harp in fifth, Jason in sixth, Twilight in seventh, Hulkenberg in eighth, Bunsell in ninth, Rich Blues in 10th, DGT League SGP only 11th place for him in this race. Drew on his debut took 12th and SRI took 13th, with Formula Gary finishing in the pit lane. Unfortunately, he would have got a better finishing position if it wasn't for that very late pit stop. It is 14th place for Gary, but unfortunately American Drew, with his disconnection, gets no points. Let's hope that he has more success later on. And I just want to say I feel sorry for Jason. He is in the biggest British sandwich you could ever imagine by the looks of things, but he is doing very well in what has only been his second race as well. Question now is, what's going to happen at race 3, which will be taking place at Fuji? But for now, let's have a look at the championship standings. With those back-to-back wins then, Demon R is on 40 points, with Steve F1 taking second place on 26, closely followed by Jason on 25. SGP's got 22, Dave the Harp 20, Twilight 19, Bunsell 18, Rodders on his debut scores 17 points, puts him up to 8th. Hulkenberg on 15 points, joined by Iceman also on his debut, and Rich Blues 1 point behind on 14 points. Then we've got a little bit of a gap to Drew 84, who's got 4 points, SRI on 3 points, Formula Gary on 2 points, and we have 1 seat available, which I think may have been taken, and then we have Drew on 0 points. Right folks, make sure you come and join us for round 3, Fuji with the chicanes. See you then.